Hi there, you're watching Market Cafe on ET Now with me Shreyansi Singh, and with me is Vinny Motiwala, and over the next 1 hour we'll take you through news and updates from within the country as well as across the globe, tell you which stocks you should keep on your radar and tell you what the brokerages are saying as well. But Vinny, first of all, the India Meteorological Department has issued an orange alert for parts of central Maharashtra. Maharashtra is likely to see very heavy rainfall over the next 5 days, even as Mathuran saw the highest rain in India over the past 24 hours. Normal life was disrupted in parts of Mumbai due to severe waterlogging following incessant heavy rainfall. With the advance of the monsoon in the state, the heavy rains in the financial capital have also submerged railway tracks and flooded many areas, leading to traffic disruptions because of waterlogged roads. And Vinny, it's quite difficult, isn't it?
Absolutely quite difficult, and you can see those visuals also coming in on your screen. It's not only Mumbai that we're seeing across the country. There are different parts of the country that we're seeing heavy rainfalls in, whether you look at Kolkata, Goa, we are seeing Bihar. So yes, many parts of the country that is actually facing heavy rainfall right now. Just an update coming in on the Mumbai front as well. The central railways, the services are disrupted, so the waterlogging is even on the tracks that we are seeing coming in, Shreyansi. Because of that, a lot of traveling maybe becomes an issue as well as especially some parts of Mumbai are seeing severe waterlogging, like the Matunga area, Sion area in Mumbai facing severe rainfall, which is because of that there's a lot of waterlogging, and that is why we're keeping an eye out overall on the situation.
Even not just the orange alert here, because there's an orange alert for Uttar Pradesh as well. There's a red alert in Uttarakhand, so it's across the country that rain is lashing parts of the country.
Absolutely, but that is what is the update coming in on the monsoon front. Red alert, orange alert, keep an eye out, stay safe at home or when you're traveling to work as well. It's a Monday, so yes, seems like some blue situation happening because of the rains, but okay, surely enjoy some bhajiyas at least at work or at home. That's what y'all can do to make it better. But let's start with the update that's coming on the global front and what the US markets did and how they managed to close. So US markets did manage to see a bit of a gain in the last trading session, where the Dow Jones managed to see a gain, of around 0.2%, closing in at 39,375. S&P 500 seeing gains of almost 4% to 0.5% in trade, and Nasdaq also managed to close on a bit on the positive side. So yes, that's how we saw the US markets closing. Not much of a worry that actually came in on that front at the US markets as of now. What Nifty is also indicating is a bit of a positive start that one could be watching out for the Nifty as well. Now overall, a lot of stocks that were buzzing in the US markets as well. What came in also is that the gold prices saw a bit of a surge. The US jobs data that came in, so everyone was keeping an eye out on that US jobs data because it was a bit weaker than expected in terms of the non-farm payroll data. We had commentary that came in as well that now where's the overall situation headed, given that this job data was weaker than expected, means the unemployment is still a bit of a concern that comes in for the US markets, and that is why we saw a bit of an increase that came in the US markets. Let's keep an eye out on where that is headed. Now when you talk about the European markets as well, let's see how that closed. UK elections, obviously these results came in, everyone was digesting those results. So FTSE closed with a cut of almost 0.4% in trade. CAC was quite unchanged, while obviously we saw the DAX closing with gains of almost 0.1% in trade. So yes, European stocks mainly were closed lower to a bit of a mixed as what we could highlight coming in. Let's look at what the stock 600 also did and how that performed as well, because overall it was a mixed close that came in for the European markets. So interesting to watch out for in terms of where the Indian markets will open today, Shreyansi.
Well, absolutely. And speaking of interesting, let's also take a look at US crude oil, because that fell but still booked a fourth straight weekly gain as falling inventories show an uptick in demand. So when you're taking a look at WTI, that hit a session high of $84 thereabout per barrel, the highest level since late April coming in for that one, before pulling back. And the US benchmark, when you take a look at that in terms of a weekly movement, gained about 2% this week, while when you take a look at the global benchmark, Brent, that was up about 0.2% thereabout. Now let's also take a look at price movements coming in for Friday, because WTI was around those $83 per barrel levels. So downtick of 72 cents or about 0.9% coming in for that one. Year to date, that contract has gained 16.1% though. So that is an uptick coming in, at least on a year to date basis for this. And when you take a look at Brent also, that was around those $86 per barrel levels. So a downtick of 89 cents or over 1% coming in for that one. And year to date, that contract is also ahead by 12.3%. So those are the price updates, but oil market analysts have also been forecasting a tighter market in the third quarter as summer fuel demand picks up. So when you take a look at US inventory data, that appeared to confirm those forecasts as well, with crude stocks declining by 12.2 million barrels and gasoline also falling by 2.2 million barrels last week. Lastly, let's also take a look at gold prices then. Gold prices extended gains on Friday to their highest level in a month following US jobs data that was keenly watched out for, that showed that the labor market was softening, lifting expectations around a Federal Reserve interest rate cut in September as well. So when you take a look at spot gold, there was an uptick coming in for spot gold, and it was around those $2,300 per ounce levels. And on a weekly basis then, bullion was up nearly 2% for the week. So that is the handover coming in both for oil and gold, Vinny.
Okay, that is the update coming in on oil and gold as well as the global markets. But important events we're keeping an eye out on. Let's not forget, in the European zone, we have the Europe Group meeting that will be happening. AGM, you'll be watching out for Nestle's AGM as well as Nucleus Software AGM. Nestle is an important one to keep an eye out on. Also, Shalby will be reporting its Q1 numbers, so keep an eye on that. Lock-in period will open up for Bharti Hexacom as well as Chronex Lab Sciences. So those stocks could see a bit of a move on that. Let's not forget, PM Modi will be visiting Moscow to talk to Vladimir Putin. So on the radar is that meet that will be going on, and what are the talks that come in, any highlight on that front. Rahul Gandhi will be visiting Manipur, so keeping an eye on that. Also, we do have the Delhi High Court that will be hearing Arvind Kejriwal's plea for additional meetings with lawyers. So important update on that front, as well as the Supreme Court is to hear a batch of pleas related to the controversy on the NEET undergrad 2024, the issue that happened on that front. We're keeping an eye out on all these updates today on our radar.
Absolutely, and let's also kickstart our coverage this morning with news and updates coming in from France. Exit polls indicating a left-wing coalition win in the second round of voting for parliamentary elections. The New Popular Front, or the NFP, on track for a first-place finish over the far-right National Rally, and President Emmanuel Macron's centrist party, but far short of an absolute majority in the parliament still regardless. And post-exit poll announcements, French Prime Minister Gabriel Attal said he would hand his resignation to President Emmanuel Macron, adding he would carry out his functions as long as necessary. Meanwhile, the euro also fell after exit polls pointing to a hung parliament. So that's the update coming in from there.
Okay, moving on, and the US economy again added slightly more jobs than expected in June through the unemployment rate, though the unemployment rate increased. Now, non-farm payrolls increased by 206,000 for the month, and the unemployment rate unexpectedly climbed to 4.1%, tied for the highest level since October 2021, and providing a conflicting sign for Federal Reserve officials weighing their next move on the monetary policy.
Alright, then moving on, South Korean electronics giant Samsung rose to its highest level since January 2021 after the company said it expects better than expected profit for the second quarter, all thanks to that explosive demand for artificial intelligence. Company guided for profits to be around $7.5 billion. That's a whopping jump of 1,452% from 670 billion won on a year-on-year basis. Additionally, they also expect the second quarter to be driven largely by demand for generative AI, while mobile demand also remains stable.
And weeks after Pune hit-and-run horror, another similar horrific crime comes to the fore from Mumbai's posh locality of Worli. A speeding BMW mowed down two-wheeler born couple this morning. beg your pardon, was yesterday morning, in which the female rider has lost her life. So yes, one more case coming in there. While the husband has actually managed to save himself, he could not save his wife, who reportedly was dragged for almost 100 meters by the BMW as the driver attempted to flee the scene of the crime. The car belongs to a prominent Shiv Sena leader, Rajesh Shah. He, along with the car driver, have been detained and are being questioned by the cops. However, the Neda's son, Mihir Shah, who was behind the wheels when the accident took place, is absconding, and he has been booked, and police team have been deployed to locate him. What makes the case even more horrific, just like the one in Pune, is that the Neda's son was reportedly drunk when his car rammed into the two-wheeler.
In a CCTV footage that has surfaced from the night before the incident, the accused can be seen leaving from a bar with his friends as well. Uddhav Sena leader and MLA from Worli, Aditya Thackeray, met the victim's husband and urged the government to take action without any political bias. Chief Minister Eknath Shinde as well as assured that the culprits will not be spared and strictest of actions will be taken against them.
जो मुंबई में हिट एंड रन का जो घटना जो हुई है बहुत ही दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है, दुखद है और मैंने पुलिस के साथ बात की है, मेरी बातचीत हुई है। इसमें कोई भी हो उसको एक नजरिए से देखा जाएगा, किसी को भी बख्शा नहीं जाएगा।
These are the CCTV footage that has been accessed by Mirror Now, which clearly shows that Mihir Shah, one who is dressed in the black t-shirt, along with his friend, leaving from the bar at Juhu in Mumbai. Now, whether he has consumed alcohol or not is something that will be investigated, but this can we can understand that this is the last CCTV or the last location that can be traced, because after which it is, if we believe our sources, he then went to a location in Goregaon where he changed the car and requested the driver for a long drive till Marine Drive, where till Marine Drive the driver drove the car, but as he returned back from Marine Drive, he was driving the car and he insisted on driving the car when outside the Atria Mall in Worli, this horrific hit and run the accident took place. So definitely this is all source-based information that we can tell our viewers at this given point of time.
Okay, one more incident down there on a hit and run case. But with that, we're going to slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more domestic updates, more stock updates after the break. Welcome back. You're watching Market Cafe on ET now. Let's talk about the Asian markets and how they've opened up. Seems like more of a carnage that is coming, more of a fall in the Asian markets versus the US market. Not much of an excitement there. ASX 200, that's down almost 450. I beg your pardon. ASX 200 is down 0.45%. Kospi is also trading in the red. Hang Seng, Shanghai, all of them have opened up in the red. So not much of an excitement there. What we're seeing coming in is that the Japanese market, that's managing to hold on to some bit of a gain right now. Look at the Nikkei, that's holding on to gains of almost 0.1% in trade. And when you're looking at it, why is that so? The real wages data point came in for the Japanese market, so that's keeping the index a bit on the positive side in terms of the move that one is watching out for in terms of real wages. So yes, keeping an eye out on that one. Other than that, when you're looking at it in terms of the Chinese market, they seem to have fallen for the fifth consecutive day approximately. So yes, nothing sort of an excitement that is coming in for the D Street, and maybe we could see the D Street open on the negative footing. As of now, Nifty implied open is just 24,383. That's 0.02%. So very flat opening is what it's indicating, but maybe could go on the negative side given that the Asian markets have not opened up with any sort of an excitement there. So yes, keeping an eye on the Asian markets as well as how India opens up.
Well, absolutely. And another thing that we're keeping an eye on is the Union Budget. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju on Saturday announced that Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will be presenting the first budget under Modi 3.0 on Tuesday, July 23rd. My colleague Prakash Priyadarshi is standing by to tell us what we can expect this time around and what else she had to say.
Yes, the government has officially confirmed the schedule of the budget session. The Parliamentary Affairs Minister has come out with the details. We say that the budget session of Parliament is going to be commenced from July 22, and the Union budget for the financial year 2024-25 will be presented on July 23rd. A very significant development coming in, and budget session will be in function till August 12, 2024, and the President will be addressing joint session of Parliament on July 22, and on same day economic survey will be tabled on the floor of the House. Along with that, this is going to be a first full-fledged budget for the Modi government 3.0 post-election. This budget is also going to be very significant for the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, as she'll be presenting her 7th State Union budget, and that will be a new record. Along with that, this budget is going to be very crucial for the Modi government 3.0, as since 2024, this is going to be happen for the first time that the BJP in the government, but with short of majority. As you are aware that the BJP could not gain full majority in the recently concluded Lok Sabha election, but in the government being led by the Prime Minister Modi, and it is expected that the government will take some big decision to provide some relief to the middle class. In fact, the Prime Minister himself has given clear indication that his government will take all possible steps to provide relief to the middle class. So we are expecting some big announcement in the forthcoming Union budget as well. Back to you.
Absolutely, Prakash. Thank you so much for that. But we also have an important update that's coming on Bandhan Bank, and it could be in focus today because Bandhan Bank has appointed an interim MD and CEO as Chanda Shekhar Ghosh. Term ends tomorrow. Now, current executive director and CEO Ratan Kumar Kesh has been appointed for 3 months till the new incumbent takes charge, and the company, this is what they've updated in the filing. But Ankur is joining in with us to give us more update on that. Ankur, good morning, and what is the latest that you have on this? What does it mean for the company as well?
Yes, so the bank has appointed an interim MD and CEO till the time a new CEO, a full-time CEO is found. Remember, the term of Chandrasekhar Ghosh is expiring on 9th of July, and therefore this appointment is effective on 10th of July. Now, Ratan Kumar Kesh, who currently serves as Executive Director and Chief Operating Officer at Bandhan Bank, will assume the charge of interim MD and CEO for an initial period of 3 months. But something to note here is that until a permanent MD and CEO is found, so the approval is only in the interim, and this is for taking care of the bank, someone who's already been there in the bank to lead the bank in between. A full-time CEO is appointed, and this approval has also come from Reserve Bank of India. Now, as far as the CEO search is concerned, we understand that till this time there is no one name which has been finalized by the bank as per sources. However, the process is already on. And ever since Chandrasekhar Ghosh had stepped down, a committee was formed for finding a new CEO, and that committee will be tasked to find a new face in between and send its approval to Reserve Bank of India for approval.
Okay, Ankur, thank you so much for that update there. But let's move on and talk about some of these other Q1 updates, and the stocks will be in focus. Titan today maybe could see some bit of a pressure because the Q1 update is not exciting. It's missed the street estimates in terms of the operational update that one is expecting there. Company's overall growth registered at 9% for Q1 FY25, and this overall growth seems like the net sales growth seems like the lowest that the company has reported in terms of a single-digit growth. The last time that reported that growth, single-digit growth, was in Q4 FY22. So a couple of years that we're seeing that the company was managing to report a strong growth in terms of double-digit. Jewelry segment just an 8% growth, mainly impacted by high gold prices, which impacted the consumer sentiment, as well as the low wedding days. Watches or wearables also not seeing an exciting growth. Wearables actually has seen a decline in terms of growth. Eye care, Taneira, CaratLane, not much of an excitement. CaratLane managed to see 18% growth, but other than that, not much of an excitement there. Brokerages, when you look at it, Goldman Sachs has maintained its buy but cut the target price for Titan to 3,700. They also said it's a disappointment there. And Morgan Stanley is also maintaining an equal rate rating, and for them also it's a miss coming in on the updates there. Let's move on, talk about some of these other FMCG companies that reported its numbers. So when you're talking about other FMCG companies, you have Marico, Dabur, which reported their numbers. So in line with what the street was expecting, mid to high single digit growth for Dabur's revenue growth. Volume growth is mid single digit. Margins have seen an expansion this time. For Marico, high single digit growth in terms of revenue, low single digit volume growth is what one is anticipating, and an expansion in terms of margins. So yes, that's how the update is looking like. So far, Marico is been in line with what the street was expecting. For JP Morgan, revenue growth slightly ahead, but otherwise for Morgan Stanley, it's largely in line. And Dabur also an in line estimate, in line with what the street was estimating is what the FMCG update has come in, Shreyansi.
Alright then, with that, we're completely out of time on this edition of Market Cafe on ET Now. From me, Shreyansi Singh, Vinny Motiwala, as well as the entire team that put this show together, thank you so much for tuning in. You don't go anywhere because the market takes all of the action forward.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.